They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight. Shunting, roll, stacking, hauling freight. Red, green, purple, yellow, orange, brown, blue. They're the really useful crew. Always different roles to play. Round the west of the island or far away. Down the hills and round the bends. Thomas, Sam, and friends. Thomas, Adam, and friends. On a cold winter day on the east of Sodor, Adam the Diesel was escorting Susie from Henry's Forest to the Steamworks. So, what happened to you again?
Well, there were a bunch of trees on the line from the strong winds last night, and I was told to clear the tracks with my cow catchers. But then I saw a big one lying on top of a pile, bigger than the Texas desert. And not only did a large branch damage my cow catcher, but another one swung through my valve gear.
I see. Cowcatcher status? Dead. Cause of death? Tree limbs. You know, if it were human, your maid before the winter snowplow would be called a limb body.
Oh, ha ha. Very funny.
While the cavalcade were on their way, Adam was hoping he'd tie up some loose ends with a certain someone a while back. Not long ago, Adam had delivered to the works a rather creepy-looking engine without a set of chassis named Barry, who claimed to have been used as a generator in the Crovenscape military. When Adam asked about his origin story on how he ended up in that situation, Barry was feeling mentally tired. It was a lot for him to take in being turned back into an engine, which he had always wanted, but was used to being something else. Adam had been waiting for the right moment during his work to talk to Barry at Croven's Gate, and with dropping off Susie, now was his chance.
Greetings, my friend.
Oh, hey, I recognize your basis from Cuba. Both Spanish and American like me. You used to work at a sugar mill, didn't you?
Yes, those origins are correct. I am Victor.
I'm Susie. My driver Calvin's been doing a little research on British locomotives lately, specifically on Sodor.
Oh, one more thing, Victor. Where can I find, I forget his name, the generator engine?
Generator?
Not the MSR's number 2, you know, that one engine you saved from the military building a few weeks ago.
Oh, you mean Barry. Ah, yes, that Scottish fellow with the mustache. He is in the Steamworks yard chatting with Arthur.
Arthur? Alright, thanks.
Wait, what does he mean by a generator saved from the military?
Well,
I don't know if he wants to talk right now, Adam. It seems like he's been through a lot.
I know, but let's just give it a shot.
And that's how I became good friends with a barge named Boston.
Great Scotland, you're a lifesaver, Arthur. Adam went to the Steamworks yard, and there was Barry. Hello? Oh, hey, you're that diesel that brought me here. What's up, laddie?
Adam, it's good to see you again. What brings you here?
Just dropping off another engine to be repaired. Nice to see you again, Barry. You too. Sorry, I never got your name. Adam. The white diesel looked down at Barry, a little disturbed by his lack of wheels. Barry could tell. Oh, I know that face. I've seen it way too many times this month from other engines that come and go at the Steamworks. I understand why. No. It's not that. It's not entirely that. I was also gonna say you and Arthur look sorta similar.
Ah, that's because me and him are actually brothers.
What? No way. You're joking, right?
It's true, you know. You'd be less confused if my brother would just put on his dang wheels, otherwise known as trousers, on.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. Barry, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get into this, predicament? Well, it's actually quite a long story. In fact, it's one I've been struggling with combined with my entire life, mentally. Really? Oh, hi. I've been telling so many people my origins, like Victor, Topham, even Chief Lynn, who had crutches when I saw him from when he fell. They've been shocked, I've been shocked, I'm still trying to put the pieces together on how this all happened. Every day I have so many new questions, and I'm anxious about my past, present, and future, and overall I feel like my discovery is somewhat of a mixed blessing. It's just a lot for me to take in at the moment.
It's true. It's a bit of a shock for all of us putting the confusing details in place. I was more than surprised hearing about the status of my brother.
Dang, that sounds rough. I'm very sorry to hear that. If you don't want to tell me, it's alright. Things have actually been getting better for us lately, and I've been reminiscing the good old days while awaiting repairs. Hey Amity, if it's alright, could we stay here a bit to hear about Barry's story?
Sure, Adam, but we have about half an hour before we need to get back to Vickerstown. There's a goods train being arranged there for Lancaster on the mainland.
So, brother, you ready to tell the story?
Yup, there it goes. It all began in early 1946, when Barry and Arthur were constructed together at Crew. However, they didn't have names back then, and only went by their numbers, 41242 and 41243. During that time, witnessing their first firing, was Henry, who was being rebuilt into a Black 5. He didn't know anything about the LMS, and neither did the two newly born tank engines, so it was a brand new experience of life for all three of them. Also present at the time was Sir Charles Topham Hatt, who was an engineering pupil at Crew before becoming second controller of the NWR.
Well, isn't it a treat? 3 new MES engines being brought out to the world to enjoy their new lives and culture.
In the 2 decades that followed, both engines worked well together and with the rest of their siblings along the LMS Railway, taking both passengers and freight. At one point during nationalization, the engines were repainted into BR Black. Until the early 60s, around the Isaac-class tank engine's withdrawal from service, 41242 was sold to Crew and named Arthur, and was used as a shunting engine until the early 2000s, when he would head to Sodor much later in life. However, 41243 was not so lucky. He was sent to the scrapyard on Barry Island in South Wales, and there he stayed for another 2 decades waiting to be cut up. Until one day, about 20 years later, in the summer of 1984...
Well, look what we have here. A sentient LMS Iva-class tank engine. Thank goodness he's still alive. I'll take it.
Who are you? Are you permitted to be here?
Indeed I am. I'm Mr. Stephen Topham Hatt, and I've been looking for an engine to run on my railway.
Another engine? You're talking about saving an engine from scrap, aren't you?
Why yes, seems like you weren't built yesterday. My father had quite a knack for restoring steam engines. The one thing he taught me before he retired this year was to always take advantage of opportunities. And right now I need a little help with the workload at one of my harbors. I'm going to do upon you what my father would have done as the new controller of the Northwestern Railway.
Wait a minute. You're talking about that massive island, paradise of steam between the Isle of Man and Barrow, getting a new TV show on the fall. You're going to restoring 41243 commenced as soon as Sir Stephen Topham Hatt returned from his holiday. He was very proud of his souvenir, and the new engine in return was happy to be out of Barry Island's scrapyard, and that's how he got the name Barry.
It's like my father once said, whatever happens somewhere, steam will still be at work here. We shall be glad to welcome all who want to see and travel behind real engines.
How was your toy Metropolitan Clinton Railway?
After restoration finished in the fall, Barry became a spare shunters pilot at Knapford Harbor, and would even take a few local trains from Knapford from time to time, due to him being a mixed traffic engine. But most of the time at the big harbor, he would organize rolling stock for the other engines, including the big ones.
Oh, this is disgraceful. Ever since that model television series of us came out, Thomas has been boasting non-stop about his fame and glory. I bet this is just one of the reasons why those 2 other attempts of making a show of us got cancelled. There's 3 more.
Why are you looking at me?
The hand that picked you up back in 51.
Oh, come on. Model making was different back then. Besides, you should be at least happy me, you, and Edward were the first in the books.
Exactly, so why should Thomas get all of the attention? If I have to look at a tank engine one more time, I'll...
Good morning, Barry.
Lovely day, isn't it?
Get out of my sight, now!
Hey, what gives? Wait, never mind. He's been at it with tank engines ever since that new show came out.
Yelling at us like that? Definitely not the Great Western way.
Alright, that's it. I'm done.
That boy ain't right.
Oh, that A1 Pacific Pratt.
Thanks, Barry. I'm very sorry for what Gordon said back there.
It's fine. Though with all this negative talk about Thomas and not wanting to see a tank engine in general from them, the only way I can interact with them is if I was rebuilt into a tender engine myself, like when you were when I met you at birth in Crow.
What type of tender engine exactly?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a BR standard 2MT. But it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me or how I'm built. As long as I'm busy, I'm really useful.
That's the spirit, and those who keep the attitude, specifically those in the books, have been a good long while.
Indeed, Barry was on the island for a good long while, though not long enough.
Thank you, Barry. I'm off to give this cylinder Perkin engine to Sigurd on the Orosdale Railway.
The following year came, and in the spring, new farmers were starting to grow bluebells along a branch line from Crovan's Gate to the abandoned Great Waterton that used to be run by the Sodor and Mainland Railway. Back in 1962, during Stepney's visit to Sodor, one of his jobs was running a new short-distance excursion along the stretch to the end of the line on the other side of the Rolling River Bridge. Once there, passengers could look down at the surreal view of the rolling river way below, have picnics, and walk along the trail traversing along the Great Waterton Mountains past Green Hills, Colby Fell Hill, and Morgan's Mine. It was on one of these trips that Stepney met Rusty, and the two became fast friends. And that's how I got saved by the Bluebell Railway.
Wow, Stepney, amazing that someone cares about steam engines in this time. You know, this may sound silly, but I almost wish I could have rescued you myself. But then again, these narrow gauge rails don't leave the island.
The townsfolk of Crovan's Gate nicknamed this line the Bluebell Branch, after Stepney's home in Sheffield Park and the Bluebells themselves. Mr. Stephen Topham Hatt thought about reviving this little service for the spring and summer months, as another thing his father did, and he assigned the excursion to Barry. At first, Barry was a little skeptical of the narrow gauge engines being smaller than him, but he soon warmed up to the kind personalities of Rusty and the other engines traversing along the Skarloey main line. But come the end of both spring and summer, the leaves started falling off the trees, the wind blew the plants away, the air was getting colder, and soon snow would fall, putting the entire branch line into hibernation. This meant Barry could no longer pull excursion trains. Sir, with the Bluebell branch line closed for the next 2 seasons, what kind of jobs would I have in the meantime? Percy and Duck can handle the work at Knapford Harbor themselves nowadays.
Not to worry, Barry. I had a feeling this might happen. Lucky for you, the Skarloey Railway needs a little help on the Lakeside Loop Line, building a new funicular railway. Since Skarloey Station doesn't have connection to any standard gauge rails, you're to bring supplies and material to Crovan's Gate from mainland, where the narrow gauge engines will bring them to Skarloey Station. Tomorrow, you'll head up to the mainland to pick up the goods.
Alright, sounds good to me.
Ah, Barry, thanks for bringing us the cable cars.
You're welcome, Radius. See, why are these cable cars non-sentient?
I honestly don't know, but I think my guess is if they were alive, they'd be driven to insanity due to traveling up and down all day with sights that never change.
You make a good point, laddie. At last, in September of 1985, construction on the Sodor Funicular Railway was complete. After that, Barry went on to more projects with the little engines, like helping out at Rennius Quarry, which was in the hills north of Rennius with a broad vein of metallic-free slate, tested by the Peel Godred Aluminum Works back at 51. 1985 soon came to an end, and the following year, Barry continued his current job for a few more months until finally, in the spring, the Bluebell branch was reopened, and he went back to taking passengers to the rolling river at Great Waterton.
Alright everyone, enjoy the view of the Rennius Falls River.
Speaking of which, the snow had caused the sleepers on the tracks between the Rolling River Bridge and the tunnel to become rotten and unstable. And one day, in April, as Barry pulled his train over that section of track, it happened. Oh, what the? Barry's brake coach had rolled backwards toward the edge of the cliff. The passengers felt the change of gravity, looked out the windows, and were terrified.
Everybody, get out of the coaches now!
It was difficult for them to do so with the leaning coaches, but it was a good thing they did get out, for if they stuck around for what happened next, Barry's accident would have been much more famous. Son of a... Barry, the black LMS tank engine, had plunged into the ravine. It was much too deep for anyone to save him, and the bridge was too unsafe, except for the passengers who had walked across the bridge after Barry had crashed.
Well, I'm afraid we've lost number 41243.
Or Barry.
And with that, the entire branch line as well as Barry, were abandoned once more. Oh God, that's horrible! Aye, it was. Somehow I survived that crash, but by the time I woke up, it was too late. There was no one up there, and I concluded that everyone thought I was deceased. I sorta wished I could have opened me eyes sooner, then I could have shouted I was still there when they were there. So, how did you become a generator? Oh, I'm getting there.
No, Michael. I'm glad we get the rest of the day off from the military. It just feels so good to be relieved from everything and just relax on the... Blimey!
What is it, Michael?
There's a bloody tank engine over there, and 2 coaches as well!
Holy crud! It's sentient! With a beard! What's he doing there? And without any chassis, too!
He must belong to one of those railways around here. You get a lot of them on this island, you know. How did it get down here?
Hey there. Are you alright? What's your name?
Barry, who are you, laddies?
Their names were Jackson and Michael, 2 men from the old Gate military base. A month after the incident, they have been rowing along the river of Reneus Falls when they spotted my brother.
Wait a minute, I see where this is going.
How on earth did you get here?
Ugh, last thing I remember is pulling a passenger train up that bridge over there where the bloody tracks became rusted. All the passengers escaped, but me and me coaches fell into the ravine. I don't know how I'm alive, but I don't feel my wheels anymore.
That's because you don't have any. Your butt's gone.
Oi, shut up! But anyways, we can't just have you lying here rusting alone. We better report this to the NWR.
Hello? Get your heads out of those Scottish bagpipes and look around. I'm completely destroyed. My chassis are damaged, I'm stuck at the bottom of this friggin' cliff, and my whole functionality is basically gone. I don't think I can be turned back into a useful engine again. Everyone thinks I've kicked the bucket, and I'll probably be on repair. I'm just as useless as I was at Barry's scrapyard.
Well, why? What did he do? He turned into a generator. He's still out there behind our shed.
Say, Michael, I forgot to ask. Is the generator in the basement still not working?
The mechanics said they tried repairing it, but it just got too old to be used again. They'll dispose of it at the dump next week.
Well, looks like our solution for power is right in front of us.
What do you mean?
Him.
You absolutely sure stuffing me inside the basement of a frickin' military base is a good idea?
Well, you did say it couldn't be turned back into an engine, so we're giving you an alternative purpose.
This will be a far less turbulent and expensive alternative for each and every one of us, no matter how strange my idea is.
Strange is a massive understatement, and so is me physical state. So I guess I would at least have some purpose in case I'm beyond repairs. Ugh, I just don't know if I'm okay with this whole being a generator thing.
1 week later.
You know what? I'm okay with this. I feel rather comfortable down here, and I can see outside the window. Even if I can't be made back into an engine, I'm happy to be of use again.
And you're warmly welcome here, Barry. Glad we found and saved you as much as we could.
Here at our base, we thrive to be strong and help others in need. We may be tough and strict, but that doesn't mean we don't have a heart. Isn't that right, men?
Sir, yes, sir!
Thank you, all of you. I'm blessed to have this kind of support. Over time, Barry got used to being a generator and developed a strong bond with all the soldiers, as well as the 2 that rescued him. And there he stayed, heating up the basement for the next 30-plus years, until 2020 when COVID-19 struck and the men left under quarantine, and for the 3rd time in his life, Barry thought it was all over. Until one day, a few years later...
Boss, do you copy? Get me out of here now! I found the sword. Ouch!
I witnessed he and Arthur's first day of life, and now we're saving his life.
And now, here I am, being repaired once again, and I'm 100% sure that this overhaul will be nothing like the first. I have to be rebuilt, repainted, I still don't have any wheels, and I'll need a ton of extensive work done. Holy crud, that backstory was something. Quite a jaw-dropper if I'm honest. I feel bad for you having to go through all that. It's been extremely hard for all of us, especially me. It's just a lot to take in, but I've been getting help and support from Victor, Wendy the Works Diesel, and even Arthur, who've been visiting me every day after work.
Victor and Wendy have actually been helping me through therapy. Whenever an engine is having trouble, Wendy the Works Diesel and Victor offer them counseling and talk to them privately at the back of the works.
Well, sounds like you're in good buffers then. Thanks for telling me your story, Barry. So, one more thing I forgot to ask. When will you be fully restored?
Honestly, Adam, we don't know. Victor and the workmen have stated that my overhaul could be done by late July or early autumn, but that's only an estimate.
But for now, the Steamworks will do everything in their power to restore my brother, and I'll be here with him every step of the way.
I think I might start visiting you from time to time as well, just to see how you're doing.
All right, Adam, time's up. We have to go pick up that train now.
All right, Amity. Goodbye, you two. Hope I can see you again soon, Barry.
See you, Adam.
And as Adam set off for the mainland, he, Arthur, the Steamworks, and the engine himself were looking forward to the day, whenever it was, when Barry would be restored and turned back into a really useful engine again.
Oh, the wind's starting to pick up a bit. Reminds me of how cold I was when I was being pulled out of that chimney.
Agreed. The fishing village hasn't had many boats go out lately due to the cold winds, but there's a rumor that next month in February, not only will the snow melt early, there's also a chance of a few storms.
And to think my world couldn't get any crazier, ha ha ha. However, unbeknownst to anyone on the island, along with the stormy season heading their way after the snow, something big was coming.
Better clean up quickly. It's gonna rain tonight. Huh? Who's there? Oi! What do you think you're doing? You can't be here, ma'am. This is school property and the building's already closed. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave immediately. Wait a minute, you're wearing an orange jumpsuit. Come back here! I'm calling the authorities!
Chief Lynn, we've got a problem.
Has Peter snuck into my office and dipped his face in the fridge again? If so, that's the 5th time this month that blasted Mr. Griffin's neglected those gym workouts.
No, sir. This has nothing to do with your donuts this time.
Then what's the emergency?
Inmate number 2024 at the Kildane Juvenile Hall is going to die.
Wait, what?
That's what the folks of the Kildane Peel Godred area said. The juvie were last seen on Kirk Mitchin on the Bluebell Railway, which is closed for the season, talking about their rough past ever since last summer, and what they've done to end up in juvie. From what I heard, their quote was, "The amount of friends and family members who trusted her disappeared one by one," and the juvie also stated that the people at the juvenile hall, even us, were neglectful and didn't give a single crud about their well-being.
I'm sorry, what was that? Holy crud. Get in the car. I'll meet you out there in a minute.
Sir, yes, sir!
Blimey, what have we done? I've seen the many cycles of officers around the world abusing their powers and others making them experience a taste of their own Dunkin' Donuts in jail. If we don't fix our image, the Sodor Island Council will charge us and kick our behinds within seconds. We will be sued and lose our business, and my position as chief will be gone. I need to put the past aside from this piece of paper, no matter what, or Sudrian society will lose the life of Tiffany Luna Stevenson.
I'm way too hard for my comfort zone.
Along the river. Gosh darn it!